I don't know what this means. Kevin can explain, I'm sure. Kevin, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you this morning?
Yeah, very well, very well. Slightly frustrated, slightly angry, slightly kind of, edgy, shall we say. I'm sick to death of this government screwing everything up and doing everything that they can to completely ruin the economy for small business and everybody else. I mean, it looks as though, I know from my own kids' point of view that there's not really any jobs going, is there?
No, it's, to be honest, whether or not it's this government's fault, probably slightly more debatable. I think this is something that's been coming for a while.
Yeah.
We act for a number of global companies, large internationals, and it's not something that's unique to this country. It is happening across the world. A lot of it is global uncertainty. Tariffs, things like that, are affecting people's ability to plan forward. Therefore, it makes people less willing to recruit, less willing to take people on. Yes, the factors that the Sun has mentioned in respect of national insurance increases, national minimum wage increases, do play into that in this country. But as I say, it's not necessarily unique to what's happening here. Any increase in unemployment is always unwelcome. But it is something, as I say, which I think is more a global issue than necessarily purely a UK issue at the moment.
Well, you say that. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but certainly we would all like to see it recover. Are you saying that's not going to happen?
Not anytime soon. I don't think that's likely. We have a lot of headwinds. As I say, economic uncertainty, I think, from most of my clients' point of view, is where the problem arises. If they can't plan ahead because there's no uncertainty about what costs are going to be, what their export market is, what taxes are going to be applied to them, it's very difficult for them to decide what to do. We have, as employment lawyers, seen quite an increase over the last couple of months in people asking for advice on redundancy programs. In a couple of years, we possibly see 3 or 4 requests for advice per year. Over the last couple of months, that's probably been 3 or 4 requests every other week.
Yeah.
So there are clearly...
That's a big increase, isn't it?
Reduce.
Yeah. But isn't it the case that really the problem, whether it's global or not, the problem certainly in this country is lack of confidence in what's going to happen to the economy going forward, that, nobody's really sure whether things are going to get any better. A lot of companies that I speak to anyway are saying, well, we can't really invest any money because we don't know what the future prospects are. We don't know really what Rachel Reeves is going to do in the autumn budget, and it might all be a much more difficult picture than it is even now.
Yeah, and that goes back, as I say, to the idea of economic uncertainty. If you know exactly what's going to happen, you can plan for it. But if you're concerned about additional taxes, you're concerned that, there's going to be a change in CGT or business taxes, you are going to basically take protective action, not take lots of people on because you just don't know what that cost is going to be. And I think that's added to by this idea of, sort of the leak stories of what may or may not happen. What you tend to find, certainly from the legal perspective, is that people in advance, because they've heard of a leak, stop doing what they would otherwise doing in terms of recruitment, or look at getting rid of staff earlier on because they think something is going to happen. So there is a need for that almost absolute certainty for business planning.
But we also know there's an awful lot of job vacancies, right? So all these people are out of work. Why aren't they going to go for those jobs that are actually vacant?
It's an interesting question because the care sector, where we do a lot of work in particular, does have a massive number of vacancies.
Right.
The fact is that people just don't seem to want to do those particular jobs. They regard them as low paid on minimum.
So they're unemployed by choice in that case, then, aren't they? They're not desperate people looking for a job. They're quite happy to remain unemployed.
Well, I can't necessarily say that they're unemployed by choice, but there are certainly an awful lot of jobs in particular sectors that people just do not want to do. And that creates a difficulty. And that has been obviously part of why we had things like the social care visas and people coming in to do that work, because we can't actually recruit within this country for that.
Yeah. But that's the thing, if we've got a bunch of people unemployed, we've got a bunch of jobs, we need to get the two things together, it seems to me. Kevin, very good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Partner in Employment and HR at Leicester Aldridge.